This video was sponsored by Enhance, NeoWatt, A Better Road Planner, Elbilmek, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? We're now at Elbilmek. We're going to do a range test of this Firefly. You know, the Firefly has no heat pump. Is that a disadvantage? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. I'm here not on the regular stretch because over here is the coldest place near my home now. Well, about 1 hour away from home. So it's -5 to -4 degrees Celsius. Yeah, we are already in 5th of March, but we're going to test now to see how less efficient it becomes when it's cold outside. Because, you know, heat pump, it's supposed to be efficient, but what about just PTC? Well, we're going to find out. So I just finished charging here at the 500 kilowatt Ioniq charger. These are the new Eco Energy, let's call it again. You can see it there. Made in Poland, yeah. Look at that. Eco Energy or something, yeah. So, nice design, huh? Yeah, the power to pay less. Okay, anyway, so I finished charging and now I let it rest for a bit in case there is some kind of battery cooling going on. But based on what I hear now, doesn't sound like it. That's just the sound of BTC. Usually heat pump is a lot noisier, and that especially on the classic Ioniq, for example. It sounds like a fossil car running. So yeah, this is the Comfort trim. It has the illuminated, I don't know, grill or whatever logo there. Also in the back here, there, and motorized lift gate also. Nice. Yeah, let's see. All right, and then we have nicer seats with massage and also nice interior. It feels like Alcantara, but doesn't have any animals, right? And then also glass roof. Hopefully that doesn't make any disadvantage on this cold run. It's reported at -3 degrees Celsius, but it should be -5 degrees once we start driving. At least on the north side here, and on the south side it's -4 degrees Celsius. So you see, the plan is to drive, well, this is the only motorway stretch we have around here. It's 15 times 2, so it's a 30-kilometer loop. Should get a good impression of what the consumption is. So let me see, now I need to reset a trip. The trip here, the total trip here cannot be reset unless you have an account with permission. Yeah, so that's kind of clumsy. It actually counts parking consumption versus dynamic. Wait, the inconsistency here. Why is it called dynamic energy consumption, but then parking consumption? And then there's a lowercase c there and uppercase c there. And also, we have different numbers here, but this number here, which is average speed, lacks the unit. It's supposed to be kilometers per hour. Okay, anyway, so we need to reset. I'm not sure if this is properly reset. It could be. Okay, anyway, let's go. All right, first test, we drive at 94 on the speed. Okay, 94 on the speed though, to match 90 GPS speed. Yeah, the car is being a bit naggy. There will be a new update coming by the end of the month, end of March, which will be a big update. So hopefully it fixes many of these annoyances. Okay, so here, as we drive now, we see that it reports a lot of stuff here. AC, well, I mean, it's technically not AC because AC is not on even, it's also on auto. It's just a BTC heater, but okay, maybe they could have written HVAC, but then who the heck knows what HVAC is, right? Heat ventilation, AC. It's reported to take 6%. Okay, battery thermal management 0, that's good. That will also be a good check to see if the battery was too hot and it's cooling down the battery right now after fast charging. Other is probably just lights and other things. So yeah, so far so good. The consumption is a bit high now, but that's a good indication that nothing, I mean, it's not lying anything, unlike that Mazda we tried. So yeah, eventually it should stabilize. So over here, is it actually -3 degrees? We probably have to wait for the sensor to cool down a bit, because it was heated up during the charging session while we are stationary. But maybe it's only -3. Okay, well, that's the best we can get nowadays. And it's nice and comfy in here. We have Continental Viking Contact 7 winter tires. That should add to the softness versus the somewhat rough Norwegian asphalt. So at least it's low speed, good comfort. Auto steering is doing a good job, at least for now. We have to see in the high-speed test how it does it. But at least now, when we don't hammer too hard, then it's actually very nice and comfy. We just turn around now, we're heading back north again. And so far, if you look at the stats here, you take 222 watt-hour per kilometer, multiply by the average speed, around 85 kilometers per hour, and then you see that AC or HVAC took 8%. That becomes whooping 1.5 kilowatts. Wow, that is a bit high for only minus 4 degrees Celsius. Well, maybe this is a disadvantage of not having a heat pump. However, I don't know if this car has any heat scavenging. It would be great, like the first gen EQS had no heat pump, just BTC, but it scavenged heat from the battery. Here we just fast charge, but it doesn't seem like there is any heat scavenging. Typically, this will be the thermal management will be in use, right? Like in the Korean cars, and then the AC part here should be lower. Wow, look at this first run, 196 watt-hour per kilometer, 10% on AC. Yeah, and average speed was 80. Okay, it drops now. Okay, let's try the 120 test then. Yeah, see over here it's minus 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, now we have to cruise on 125 on the speedo to match 120 GPS speed. Yeah, it's minus 5 degrees over here. And then also consumption makes sense. We have high peak now because of the kinetic energy in the car when we accelerated. So yeah, AC part is quite low in the beginning now, but it should go up, but it should be lower than the previous run. Well, yeah, we have those to calculate. Last run it was 1.6 kilowatt on average. So let me see now. Is the car doing it okay now? Yeah, at least when we are going straight, the auto steer, or the pilot, what it's calling, is actually okay. But when you come to a slight curve, then it tends to be a bit nervous. Yeah, you see? Even though it doesn't look like that much on the camera, you can feel it. It drives uneven in the curves. So hopefully this will be fixed in the next update. And now in the high-speed test, I feel like the noise level is not that bad. Yeah, so the soft winter tires helps. And then when it comes to the glass roof here, I can feel it's cold above. I guess when it's really cold, I could feel the cold chill. So there is unfortunately no cover over it to insulate. Yeah, so maybe if you live in really cold places, then you shouldn't go for the comfort trim. Ironically, you want to go for the select trim, which doesn't have the glass roof. Or you might have to put something here, I don't know, some cover, if that exists. Okay, we're on the way back now. Man, I get this red warning or whatever here. Remaining range 56 kilometers. So already below 35%, the bar becomes red. When you have a small 42 kilowatt hour LFP battery, then you need to be reminded that you don't have the best range. But okay, anyway, if we look at consumption now, 291 watt hour per kilometer, multiply by the distance, the speed, and then 4%, this is roughly 1.3 kilowatt. Yeah, there could be round-off error, it could be 4.5%, whatever. So yeah, we'll have to see once we finish the test. But wow, really 290? Damn! What? Oh, it's even minus 3 degrees over here. Okay, this time we consumed 260 watt hour per kilometer, and the average speed was 106.8. So based on that and versus 5% on AC, we get 1.4 kilowatt. That's probably slightly higher, right, than the heat pump. I think heat pump should be consuming around half of that, or maybe 1 kilowatt. But maybe the saving isn't that big. It's just the fact that the air is thick at minus 4 degrees Celsius, and then the consumption goes up. So of course, if we did this run without heater, we could figure out something, but then it's kind of pointless since we already have the heater part here, 5%. So based on the test today, you see that the consumption is a lot higher than in the summer test. But trying to find some cars with similar temperature, and I found Kona. Okay, Kona is slightly bigger, but it was minus 5 degrees Celsius on Kona, and there also at the high speed you get 256 watt hour per kilometer. So yeah, and that one of course has heat pump. So Well, I don't know what to conclude. I mean, the consumption is higher. You just have to expect that the range is lower. But it doesn't seem like the PTC makes that big of a difference. So, yeah, the range is not that great because we have small battery here. That's what you need to expect if you buy this car. If range is a problem, maybe you should go for the Inster or the Renault 5. They're also small compact cars, but then it's not as cool as the Firefly, right? Okay, anyway, that's gonna be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.